The changing table is ready and the cupboard is packed with baby clothes. Ina and Michael are ready. In just a few days, they're expecting their first baby. Michael says he has set his mobile on loud and has already given Ina his work number just in case she isn't able to reach him. He says she'll be able to contact his receptionist, who can let him know if things get going. Nothing unusual there for expectant parents, but these two are planning on doing things a little differently. They've organised a home birth. Fewer than 2% of babies in Germany are born at home. Ina and Michael are among a growing number of couples starting to buck this trend. Ina has never spent more than an hour or two in a hospital, so finds the idea of having to go to one to give birth very strange. Giving birth isn't a sickness, she says. Michael says the couple have been questioned about the possible risks involved in a home birth. People were never offensive or suggested they were being irresponsible, he says, but they were advised to be cautious. Ina and Michael have two midwives who take it in turns to be on call. When Ina goes into labour, it will be up to one of them to assist with the birth. They've given her a list of essentials she'll need to help things run smoothly. Ina says she already has most of the things on the list in the house, like hand towels and coffee. But they've also been asked to collect some extra newspapers for her to lie on and some plastic sheets to protect the bed. This is an antenatal class at the Warschau Clinic in Berlin. The mums and dads are given practice exercises to help prepare them for childbirth. Most expectant parents who attend this class have already opted for a hospital birth. For most, giving birth at home was never an option. This father says that although it's becoming fashionable, he worries about the risks of having a baby at home. It's not like your first aid kit at home will get you through it, he says. This dad asks why anyone would willingly go back 400 years to a time when they didn't have specialist emergency care. He says safety is more important than doing things the natural way. For healthy women, home births don't statistically carry a much greater risk. But that doesn't mean to say that midwife Stephanie Noack would recommend them to everyone. There is some residual risk, she says. Although it's very small, it's there. And this is something that you just don't have at a clinic. It's this argument that has convinced Janine and Markus that having their baby at the Warschau Clinic is the right way to go. We want to maximize our chances of a safe delivery, Janine says. They have the top specialists here. And it's one of the best maternity wards in Germany. These antenatal classes are practically a must for most expectant parents. Stephanie Noack guides these parents through the various stages of childbirth. For most, it's a daunting prospect. Stephanie describes how the baby makes its difficult journey through the birth canal. She tells the mums when they need to push and when various difficulties can arise. The baby's shoulders, for example, can become stuck. She shows how the baby will rotate so it can pass through the pelvic floor muscles. Then the rest is easy, she says. It'll just pop out. But it's not all hard work. After the birth, the baby is cleaned up and placed on mum's breast, giving both mum and baby a much-needed break. Finding the right position to give birth can make labour a lot easier. The midwives recommend that mums are upright, so gravity can help with some of the hard work. Stephanie asks the expectant parents to test out some of the options. They also practice massage techniques, just one way to ease the pain involved in contractions. It's often taken for granted that dads will play an active role during the birth, but for Markus and Janine it's not black and white. Markus says they've not decided whether he'll be in the room when Janine gives birth. He says that if Janine wants him there, he'll stay, but he doesn't feel a desperate need to be present. And he might not have to. Janine says that when things get difficult, she might actually prefer him to leave. That way she can concentrate on herself and not have to worry about what he's doing. Back at the class, there are more exercises to learn. And though they might not ever have to put any of this into practice, the dads are given no chance to ease up. Stephanie strictly forbids any cheating. No hands on knees allowed. Not for a full minute. These mums need to know how to pace their breathing during contractions. Fewer home births mean most expectant parents don't know what to expect during labour. There's a lot of fear of the unknown, Stephanie says. Women who are afraid of the pain often opt for a caesarean in the hope that it will be more bearable. She says the labour itself is less painful, but the pain they experience afterwards lasts a lot longer than the few hours it takes to give birth. Every third child in Germany is born by caesarean section. That's double the figure 20 years ago. The high caesarean rate is a product of people's growing confidence in hospital births. But unless it's medically necessary, Stephanie Noack would still recommend natural labour. It's just so wonderful, she says. All these basic instincts kick in. It's an unbelievable thing when a new life comes into the world. She says that even after all her years' experience, she still thinks it's a miracle every time. A miracle that Janine and Markus have to wait another 6 weeks to experience for themselves. But for Ina and Michael, it could happen at any time. Today they have an appointment at a birthing centre. Midwife Katharina Niemann has been looking after Ina since the start of her pregnancy. If Ina and Michael decide against a home birth at the last minute, they would come here. Katharina goes through the options with them. She shows them the birthing swing. It allows you to be free to move around and keeps you in an upright position. But Ina isn't enthusiastic and opts to give it a miss. So close to the birth, Ina has checkups every few days. Katharina also shows the expectant dad how he can check out how the baby's doing. Markus is a little hesitant. He says he's still never sure what he's feeling. This hard bit here is the baby's bum, he says. This is its back, and this is its little head. And this is the amniotic fluid. It's much softer. Katharina also checks to see whether the baby's heartbeat is normal. This is something that could be done by a doctor, but Ina and Michael say they feel more comfortable coming here. Ina says she believes doctors do everything too quickly. She says they ask her how she's doing and how her pregnancy is going, but she gets the feeling they don't have so much time. This could well be their last appointment at the birthing centre. Ina says she feels like the baby could come any day now. And not before time. She says she's starting to find the pregnancy extremely uncomfortable, and she struggles to find a comfortable position to lie down. That's not an uncommon feeling for expectant mothers, Katharina says. Regardless of how easy the pregnancy is, at some point, enough is enough. 5 days later, and just as planned, little Amaya was born into the world at home. The labour lasted 14 hours, naturally not disturbed by our cameras. Ina says she was relieved when the pain stopped. That's when she realised it was all over. And she was just so happy to see the baby lying there. For Michael, it was completely overwhelming. All he could manage to say was, "Hello, baby." He was so overcome, he says, he didn't even register whether it was a boy or a girl at first. He says only when it occurred to him to check did he realise it was a little girl. Katharina's colleague was on call when Ina went into labour. Today she's visiting the young family for the first time since the birth.
Yeah.
Midwives pay daily visits to newborns on the first few days after the birth. She checks whether the baby's belly button is recovering. She also looks to see whether it's putting on enough weight. This time it's good news. Amaya has put on weight.
3.840.
Ja.
Was hatte sie?
3.780.
Katharina is pleased. Amaya is less so. Ina and Michael say they did not regret their decision to have their baby at home at any stage. Ina says she can't wait for the moment when Amaya asks where she was born, and they can say you entered this world in our home, in our bed.
In unserem Bett auf die Welt gekommen bist. Ne?